As men of culture, we can all agree that S-Death is a top-tier waifu. She's the sole reason my taste in women has changed. Now I fully believe in Dami-Mommy supremacy, but we all know the only guy who had a chance with her completely blew it. And ever since then, the anime community is having a generational crash out over her. So when I saw the main girl of this manhwa, my first reaction was, this manhwa is about a guy who gets isekai'd as a background character in a survival game. And our boy is being chased by a girl who looks like a reincarnation of S-Death, and she can literally kick ass. There's also a cat girl, a muscle girl, and many more baddies. And all of them are fighting for our boy's seed and trying to marry him. And our boy has a heroic mission to Rizz all of them. But before that, let's see how our boy ended up in this situation. Our story starts with our boy waking up in the game after he cleared it and saw the ending. But the anime gods decided to isekai him into it. He became Dodd Campbell, a third-rate Viscount's heir whose main industry is farming, and it was barely mentioned in the game. But our boy flips the script when he decides to join the Imperial Academy. Our boy tells his father farewell, and his father is bawling his eyes out, telling him to be a good boy. The best thing he can do as a son of a Viscount is do nothing. Our boy tells him he understands because the anime gods gave him no skills and F-rank stats. Dodd thinks he is screwed because even he, as a veteran, has never seen these trash stats. The system gave him the main quest to enter the academy, and if he ignores the quest, then it's game over. So he has to move his ass no matter what. Dodd tells his father not to worry because he will try his best to do nothing, have no dream in life, and be a loner, just like the average Discord mod. The scene shifts to a train, and our boy thinks he will have an uneventful academy life without drawing attention, but his luck places him right in front of an absolute baddie. I mean, look at her, goddamn. Elnor the Bloodthirsty is the final boss of this world. According to the main story, she and the protagonist keep fighting, and her sanity crumbles. The gray demon inside her devours her body and turns her into the final boss, and only the protagonist can fight her. Returning to the present, Elnor asks our boy if he needs a doctor because he looks like crap. Dodd tells her it's fine, and she tells him the Tristan dukedom made her sit here instead of first class to show them as approachable high-ranking nobles to others. She apologizes for worrying him, and everyone in the carriage makes the same expression seeing her. Our boy thinks Elnor feels different from what he remembers from the game. The keywords used to describe Elnor were meritocratic, perfectionist, and audacious. He wonders what this sensitive side means. Elnor asks him why he is silent, or if he is curious about something else. Our boy tells her it's nothing, and says she is unexpectedly kind. Elnor is surprised and asks if he heard bad things about her, or if they have met before. Our boy stumbles on his words, and tells her he heard she was strict. Elnor says he is a strange person, and Dodd tries to downplay it. He thinks he needs to act as a background character, so he decides to look at some grass from the window. He also sees flying boulders, but realizes that shouldn't be a thing. He comes close to Elnor, and as the boulder hits the train, our boy manages to survive by holding tightly to Elnor because she has a protection gear which nullifies the damage. Our boy, having all F stats, realizes this is the only way of surviving. After a while, our boy wakes up, and Elnor tells him to move because our boy is motorboating her pillows. Damn, that lucky bastard. Dodd tries apologizing, but Elnor says it's fine since he did it to save her. It's her first time being approached by a man, but she understands his intentions, so he doesn't need to apologize. Our boy thinks she is misunderstanding his action. Elnor gets up and asks him what his name is, and Dodd is surprised. He thinks he will bump into her if he replies, but he decides to tell his name anyway. Elnor tells him she will not forget it, and will repay him later. The system tells him he gained a villain's interest and met the conditions for a special gift. Our boy receives desperate survival and deadly charm skills. After a while, the medics arrive and treat everyone, and later, our boy is taken to the academy. Inside the carriage, Dodd sees the description of his gift, which says he gains more rewards as he receives interest from people who have evil traits. Our boy realizes why he couldn't discover this before, because his territory is full of rainbow and sunshine. Then he checks his skills. Desperate survival makes his stats increase when he is in danger, and deadly charm makes it easier to gain interest from people who have evil traits in extreme situations. Dodd thinks if he could handle deadly charm, but then he remembers all the crazy crazy bosses he will face in the future and thinks he is done. But our boy remains positive since he gained some skills that will help in his survival. As they approach the academy, the medic asks him if he needs another checkup, but our boy says it's okay and gets down. The scene shifts to the entrance ceremony. Our boy thinks back to his conversation with the medic, who tells him Elnor's family has many enemies and the boulder was aimed at her. He tells him it's best to avoid her, but our boy knows it's already too late. He motorboated her, and she is the final boss, and standing next to her will bring death. Just then, he gets called out by others for spacing out, and all of them mock him. Now he needs to find a sparring partner for the practical evaluation. Our boy sees everyone has picked their opponent, and the one left over must be the strongest. Our boy approaches the girl, and he recognizes her. It's Aaliyah, who will become the savior in the future and the protagonist of the game. Seeing her, our boy thinks he got screwed once again. The scene shifts to a girl with glasses, and everyone around her is asking where Elnor is. Then suddenly, Elnor walks in and throws her sword at the table. The glasses girl asks her where the hell she's been. Elnor, covered in blood, tells her she had to take care of something. The glasses girl tells the others to leave because both of them need to talk. After a while, she asks Elnor how many people she has sent to the afterlife. Elnor tells her it's only 12, those who tried to assassinate her by using the boulder, but she found them and killed every last one of them. The glasses girl tries to tell her she should leave it to the academy, but Elnor thinks it's annoying, or does she expect her to forgive the people who tried to kill her? The glasses girl finally gives up and tells her she needs to get changed because the entrance duels are going on and she may see a genius among them. She begins to read the names of Aaliyah and Dodd. Hearing our boy's name, Elnor speaks it out loud, and the glasses girl asks if she knows him because he seems like a loser. Elnor thinks about our boy and how odd he is. The scene shifts back to our boy, who is shaking and holding a wooden sword while everyone mocks him, thinking he will get cooked in this fight. Even our boy knows his ass gets folded if he faces her with his garbage stats. He hopes his skill kicks in because it's a dangerous situation and he might draw interest from the villains in the crowd, only if he doesn't kick the bucket. As he thinks about how he's going to survive, Aaliyah calls out to him and asks him to be honest since she knows he's weak and was thinking of giving him a beatdown. Our boy asks why. She tells him it's because he is with Elnor and she hates her and her family. Then she calls them demons. Our boy kind of understands her according to the story. She has a lot against Elnor's family. Then Aaliyah says he's pissing her off since he reminds her of Elnor and says she's going to hurt him, but she makes him an offer to fake the fight. Our boy thinks that's a nice offer, but he knows he needs to draw attention from others, and that's the only way he can grow quickly. So he tells her to go all out on him. Our boy pisses her off by saying he actually likes Elnor a lot. Aaliyah looks at him with murderous intent and asks if he's serious. Our boy says he is as serious as her hate for Elnor. Then his deadly charm activates, and Aaliyah tells him she will not feel bad about this. She charges forward and breaks his wooden sword with a single strike. Our boy barely dodges it, and seeing that, Aaliyah says she misjudged him and proceeds to stab him. As our boy pisses himself, the system says he met the condition for desperate survival rank EX. He gives her a soft punch on her cheek, but wonders what that EX rank means, then realizes it's the highest rank. With that single punch, her faith is decided. The force of the punch sends her flying in the air. Everyone is in disbelief. Even our boy is shocked about what the hell just happened. On his first day at the academy, Dodd has smashed the game's protagonist into a wall and showed the definition of true gender equality. Kazuma will be proud of him. The scene shifts to a professor's meeting where they discuss how our boy was a loser before the fight, but his strike was definitely real. Then one woman asks what that means. The professor says nobody would survive, and the chances of him just knocking out Aaliyah were 0, but he managed to do it by increasing his power temporarily. He tells them either he cheated somehow, or he might be the real deal. The woman says it's difficult to accept his victory since Aaliyah's sponsor will not stand idly by. But she knows they can't ignore his potential, so only time will tell if he is a fraud or not. The professor asks what she means, and she tells him there are some special students this year who need special treatment. If he is really special, she is sure he will play a role. The scene shifts back to our boy, and he sees the news praising him as a genius. Our boy thinks the news is an absolute scam. Then the system tells him his trust level with Elnor has increased by 2, and he gained many points from others. He sees he can spend these lowest points in the store, and the one with the highest curiosity is Elnor. He wonders why the final boss is taking an interest in him. Then the system tells him he received Elnor's gift, the Tristan sword technique. Our boy thinks it's a steal, but the problem is that her family is involved with demons. Still, he got it free, so he has no complaints. Then he sees Aaliyah is also interested in him and wonders why she is on the list. He only receives gifts from villains with positive interest in him, but Aaliyah is neither a villain nor does she have positive interest in him. Suddenly, his door bangs, and our boy hears a familiar voice calling him. It's Aaliyah asking if she can come in. Hearing her, our boy decides to remain quiet, hoping she goes away. Aaliyah outside says she knows he is inside and is willing to break the door if he doesn't answer. Our boy finally gives up and calls her insane. Aaliyah then asks him to open the door because she has something to tell him. Dodd asks what that would be. Aaliyah says she just wants to know him better and maybe do some Netflix and chill. Damn, her personality really did a 180 after our boy showed some domestic Rizz. Now we know this girl is a certified masochist. After some time, she leaves, disappointed because she hoped our boy would show her even more domestic love. She tried to start as friends, but she doesn't know how. Then she bumps into someone and they tell her to watch her step. As Aaliyah picks up the bag and looks up, she sees Elnor asking if she is hurt. Looking her straight in the eye, she gets PTSD about the past. Shaking, she tells her she is fine, but instinctively grabs her sword. She wonders if she can defeat Elnor at her current level. Elnor extends her hand toward her. Aaliyah is surprised to see Elnor not even bother reacting when she tried to pull her sword. Elnor asks her to give back the bag. Aaliyah turns it. She wonders how Dodd is involved with her. Then Aaliyah gives directions to Dodd's room. Surprised, Elnor calls out to her, asking how she knows about it. Aaliyah says she is with him until now. Elnor gets pissed and asks about her purpose. Aaliyah says it's about friendship between the new students. But Elnor stops her and says it's absolutely forbidden to mingle with the opposite sex. Aaliyah says there was no such rule, but Elnor tells her she just made one now and says she is no longer permitted to enter Dodd's room. Then she walks away. Aaliyah asks her what her relationship with him is. Elnor says he is nothing to her, but tells Aaliyah to remember what she told her. Thinking about the fight earlier, Aaliyah thinks there is definitely something between them, but still, she decides to get close to him anyway. The scene shifts to the day of the class assignment exam, and students need to divide into groups. After the one-on-one duel, and since our boy one-punched a warrior candidate, he was assigned to the highest level group. But the biggest issue for him is Aaliyah following him. He even pushed her away yesterday, but he ended up in the same group as her, and her interest increased again. Then he thinks back about last night. He got a bag with snacks and a letter. Now he thinks someone is stalking him. As everyone gets ready, our boy thinks the exam should go smoothly since it's part of the main scenario. Elnor then shows up and tells them she is in charge of their group. Dodd thinks this can't be a coincidence. The Elnor event should happen today, but she became in charge of them, and he knows something weird is definitely happening. Elnor then instructs everyone to move forward. As everyone enters the dark hallway, the entrance shuts. Aaliyah asks Elnor if this is part of the test. Our boy knows what's happening. The entrance shutting and the power outage is a trap, not a test. The system tells him Elnor's event is active and gives him a mission to protect her from assassination. Looking at the members of the party, he recognizes them. They are the main character's party, and this is where they all first meet. Knowing the current situation, Dodd tells everyone to move to the central hall since they can find equipment there, and it will be much easier to defend against an ambush. When one of them asks about the ambush, he tells them they aren't the only ones here and that he will go there. Aaliyah asks why he is leaving the central hall. With a straight face, our boy tells her he can't say, but this is important, and he will explain it later. He knows it's very important since it involves saving his own ass. Later, as he wanders around, he thinks maybe one-punching Aaliyah gave him some credibility. So if he hides here until the event ends and the assassin only targets Elnor, he should be fine. Until then, he decides to find a corner and wait it out, but someone calls out to him. As he turns around, he sees a man asking for directions to fix the power issue. But the system triggers a warning about the danger. The scene shifts shifts to Aaliyah and the others walking under the assassin's watch. One of them asks her if Dodd will be alright, and Aaliyah tells her he must have a plan, but now she senses something will happen to them. The scene shifts back to our boy, and the man thinks the advanced party must be eliminated by now. He even tricked this guy easily. Dodd stops and shows him the equipment room, and the guy thinks, observing his movements, that Dodd is a complete rookie, so he can play with him before he kills him. After that, he decides to take his body to kill Elnor. As our boy turns to him, he removes his mask and says he will reward him for his effort. But seeing him, our boy isn't even surprised and casually says, "As expected, it's you, Hasmed." He gets shocked hearing his name. Our boy even tells him he's relieved it's him. If it was someone stronger, he could have been in danger. By his walking motion, he is the same old guy he remembers. As our boy checks the desperate survival skill, Hasmed is confused about what our boy is saying, but he decides to strike him since he is a weakling. The scene shifts back to the main party, and they've defeated every single assassin. As Aaliyah is commanding others, she looks at Elnor, who has absolutely cooked everyone, and she smashed them into the wall. She approaches one of them and asks if there are more. Then she straight up tells him she will break his neck. After that, he tells her it was Hasmed of the Crescent Moon. Elnor asks if he is in this building or around here, but the goon says he can't say that, so she just steps on him and asks if that assassin is currently present. This guy must be enjoying this treatment, and some of you guys watching must be saying the line. He finally tells her he came with them, and Aaliyah asks what made her go that far. Elnor tells her they tried to kill her, and Hasmed can take someone's appearance by killing them. She asks who the easiest target for him in this building is. Aaliyah then realizes he could target Dodd and thinks he intentionally lured him, but she can't understand why he's going that far. She then asks Elnor what her relationship with him is, but Elnor says they are nothing. But still, Aaliyah thinks it's very sus. The scene shifts back to Hasmed, who is currently getting a beat down by our boy and can't believe he is losing to him. Our boy performs Elnor's sword style and defeats him. The system says his proficiency has increased. Hasmed recognizes the sword style and regrets messing with him. He then gives up fighting and asks our boy his name. The system tells that his deadly charm is active and the villain is in awe of his detailed plan. Our boy, knowing the game system where you can't use a weapon at the save point, lured him here. Meanwhile, Hasmed says since he has no intention of answering him, he asks Dodd to kill him, but our boy says he doesn't intend to kill him. Hasmed asks why, and our boy tells him to spread the word to others about not messing with Elnor. He also tells him to say even an assassin of his caliber almost died. Our boy thinks he doesn't know who is targeting Elnor, but they will keep trying, and if this goes on, the chances of Elnor's gray demon being released will increase, so it's best to shut that possibility down from the start. Hasmed asks what if he comes back after this, and our boy tells him to try again because he will be protecting her next time. Hasmed asks if Elnor is really important to him, and Dodd says she is. Then the system says the deadly charm has been activated. We see Elnor saw what happened and heard everything he just said, and the system says her favorability has been increasing. And just like that, our boy has started his Rizz master journey without even trying. The scene shifts back to the academy where the glasses girl, who the author didn't even care to give a name, is sulking about her work. She asks Elnor about the assassination attempt on her, but Elnor seems to be daydreaming. The glasses girl tells her whoever was behind this will do it again, and those people with her all got commendations. Other than that, no one suffered any casualties. But she says Dodd is the problem here, since he is the only one without any records of commendation, and she thinks he is purposefully trying to stay out of the academic team's sight. Elnor, still daydreaming about our boy, says, "I wonder." The glasses girl gets annoyed and says she will hit her if she says that one more time. Elnor says, "Go ahead." And then she just throws the damn ink bottle at her. But Elnor catches it perfectly and asks what's her deal. The glasses girl tells her she has been daydreaming the entire day, and if she won't focus, she won't help her. Elnor tells her she has taken an interest in someone. The glasses girl is surprised and asks who it is. Elnor says she already brought him up just now. The glasses girl says our boy's name, and both of them fall silent. Then she asks Elnor if she is serious about that country bumpkin, and she asks what will happen if the the Archduke finds out about this. Elnor says he will definitely get upset, but tells her she doesn't fancy him. Then she tells Elnor to be careful regardless, since it's very suspicious that he treats her very kindly. Elnor says she will be testing him and observing him closely. The scene shifts back to our boy, and he receives a letter saying they can't decide on his current class, so they ask him to wait for good news. Our boy doesn't care about that and hopes they would just shove him into any ordinary class and forget about him. Then the system shows him the first mission is completed and gives a new mission to resolve the incident that will occur during the freshman reception ceremony. Our boy remembers the ceremony will decide the player's class. Since Aaliyah uses the sword, he could also use a strength build and end up with exclusive equipment, but the problem is the final boss, the protagonist, and the main quest events all happening at the same time, and he feels something big will happen. Then suddenly the system gives him Elnor's gift. It's a skill duplication pass, which allows him to copy one of her skills. Our boy thinks he hit the jackpot, but knows it would be a complete loss to use this now, since Elnor, like the protagonist, will grow continuously throughout the game, so he decides to use it later. For now, he needs to prepare for the event that will occur in 3 days, and he knows just the place that will help. The scene shifts to an old equipment warehouse, and our boy is trying to cosplay as a budget Joker. He breaks through every security mechanism to farm some items. After that, our boy Tom cruises his way in and begins to search for some loot while eating a Vitality biscuit. Then he finds the Ultima of Divinity, which is an incense burner, and he decides to book it from there, but as he pulls it out, the entire pile falls on him. As the dust clears, he finds a girl in his arms, fallen from God knows where this dude keeps collecting them like Pokemons, and he gonna catch them all. Our boy recognizes her as Uriah, the boss of Chapter 2, nicknamed the Cursed Sword Goddess. The item he picked up is hers, and the system triggers a warning and activates his desperate survival skill. Our boy tries to stop her, but Uriah goes berserk on him. As our boy tries to save his ass from her, he tries to say it's a misunderstanding, but she proceeds to whoop his ass anyway. As he dodges her strikes, she suddenly throws a knife at him. Dodd thinks he's done for, but the knife stops right in front of his face. He then sees he's out of her range. Then he remembers Uriah's curse makes her defeat any enemy within a certain distance, but in return, she can't take a single step forward. Uriah asks him to take a step forward, but our boy says he isn't falling for that. Then he remembers she's a NEET and has been isolated from everyone for a long time. So our boy pulls a big brain move and pulls out his biscuit, trying to tempt her with it. She tells him she won't fall for that and asks if he's really trying to bribe her with food. But our boy throws the biscuit, and she catches it with her mouth like a dog. He successfully tamed her with that. Later, she asks him who he is and why he's here. Our boy knows he can't tell her he came to rob her, so he says someone asked him to feed her and told him to look after her. She asks who it is, and our boy decides not to make any changes in the story, so he tells her not to worry. Her sister is doing well in the Holy Empire. The Emperor won't even care about either of them, so he tells her to lay low for now. He then tells her he will be back and leaves. Later, Dodd remembers that according to the story, Uriah is from the Holy Empire and went into hiding because her sword is an evil item and she's suffering from that curse. So he thinks it's probably fine to tell her about her sister, the only family left for her. He pities her for going through so much with little hope. The scene shifts to the day of the tutorial event, and the housemaster tells them they will need to choose their majors and minors during the freshman ceremony, which will happen in a couple of days. As she explains that, our boy thinks this event will give more information about this world, but he can't just skip it since all the work he put in would be useless. Then one guy asks the housemaster about the Void Zone. She tells them it's a restricted area and they will be punished if they go there. Our boy notices the Void Zone and remembers, according to the game, that place is the remnant of the war between hell and heaven. It's where God's messengers and warriors stopped the demons, and even after 100 years, the powers of divine and death still clash there, so the three empires made an alliance to keep it in check that even includes the academy. Then some of them ask to view it up close, and the housemaster says she will agree until the edge of the protective barrier. Our boy thinks this is the perfect opportunity to do his thing. As everyone stops at the barrier, the housemaster announces they will have lunch there. Our boy approaches the housemaster and tells her he wants to eat lunch in private since it makes him uncomfortable. The housemaster tells him not to go too far, and others think he's cocky. Later, our boy uses the incense burner and blows it hard. Then a portal appears, and he thinks this will allow him to reach beings normal people can't even dream about. The portal gets bigger, and he gets flash-banged by the light.